Hi, thank you for joining the Center of Justice and Law Spotlight Conversation series, where we talk about health, justice, and law with guests. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Autumn, and we are students in the Health, Justice, and Advocacy class this semester. We are partnering with CJL today for our Spotlight Conversation, and we will focus on the topic of food justice and agriculture farm workers. Our conversation today will be with Erik Torres. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course, of course. Um, we've asked you to join us because we've been inspired by your work that you've done in the community to support the Black Indigenous folks with things such as food justice.
You inspire us because you are a big advocate in our community. Can you tell us about the work that you are doing for the community?
Yes. So, um, the things I've done so far are my proudest moments are actually answering calls to action, being part of the communities whenever they need a hand or just give us a call to be there, show our support, give our energy towards them. Those are my proudest moments for sure. Um, and sharing the energy I have with them through either just being present or through dance, like we usually do whenever we show up. Um, those are the most amazing ways I appreciate all the communities I help, and I'm proud to have here as and call them my brother and sisters.
Okay. Do you think that you could give us a specific example of something maybe from this year or the past 6 months that you've done that, really shows your work and things that you're working for to better the community and life as a whole?
Yes, so I remember last year, it was around the fall, we had experienced a lot of hate towards our Asian brother and sisters, and we responded to a call to action to go and spread positive energy um, in the East Side, since East Side is very much majority our Asian populations here in the Twin Cities. Um, so we went over there and shared some dance energy and paid our respects to our fallen brothers and sisters. Um, and I remember being over there. One of our leaders, big shout out to Marianne Quiros, who I believe is watching us right now. Um, she gave a speech um, because of how much hatred we've all faced here, and especially hating her, who is from Asian descent. It hit her pretty hard, and I wouldn't want to see someone who I look up to in so much pain, not just for herself, but for an entire community of people.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. How do you think your work connects to our work at the Center of Justice and Law?
For sure, our work is it's very how would I say this? It's very similar. The Center of Justice and Law, we do, or at least when I did something with one of part of Susie's classes, we partnered with the Astara Initiative in the Minnesota Prison Doula Project, where we help contribute to ending prison birth in the last 10 years. That was something I'm really proud of that I did with Susie and along with the rest of the senior seminar of 20, was it, what was last year? 2021. Senior Seminar 2021. That was also one of my proud moments, having accomplished all of that and connecting that to what I've done at the center, not just at the center, but out in the community. Um, Being there, present with people, sharing our love, energy, and support, um, giving donations, helping our younger ones get to safety when they are part of us. Um, those are one of the proudest moments I do be having. Sorry, my English is kind of ghetto right now. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, I honestly do love sharing this with a lot of people, and just through art, like dancing, especially that's one of my favorite ways, like dancing. out there is one of the best ways that I give off my energy and positivity.
So, how did you like hear about this, or like why did you want to get involved?
I heard about it since I kind of started dancing. Um, and I just been getting more and more involved as time went on. Started being present at events and listening to our community members, which is why every time we talk about anything with community, we always have to um, like listen to the people who are actually living there, not just the people who talk for us, like our policymakers. Listen to the people who are living in there, living in that state. And while you listen to them, you do what you can to advocate for them, which is what I remember doing with Susie's class and the Minnesota Prison Doula Project.
What are some of the biggest like outcomes that you've seen done in the community based off of your work?
Let's see. Um, for sure, being part of being there for the many rallies and marches against Derek Chauvin. Um, I remember we were all split up. There was a dance group in Minneapolis, another dance group in the west side of St. Paul, and we were dancing to spread our energy for our fallen loved ones that were there and sharing positive vibes, hoping that Derek Chauvin would be convicted of all charges, and he was. So that was the day we celebrated accountability. Um, those were definitely some of the big changes that I've seen um, being present here because we know a lot of Black people in our community never have a break like that. And even I wouldn't even count it as a break because it was delayed. Delayed justice isn't justice at all. He should have been convicted right away, not a whole year or two after.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. What are some ways you think that we can support or elevate the work that you do?
I guess definitely contributing to the Indigenous Roots Center. They contribute to so many causes, and that this could be in monetary donations, food donations, sharing love and support, spreading the word of the work that we do there through the many accounts that Indigenous Roots has. So the Facebook account for sure has posted a lot, and I know the one on Instagram also does post a lot too. So sharing those events and just anything to get anything spread out to help communities around, not just the center, but even across the Twin Cities.
One more question. What was I gonna ask? So what advice would you like give the youth so they could like get more involved in this and like help out with their community?
Well, definitely, like you said, be more involved, talk to people, ask questions, be very open-minded for sure. Because I know many people, especially the youth, uh, grow up with families who are very closed-minded, and that spreads towards them, and that could either be spreading love or spreading hate. We don't know until we see them grow up and first be the people that they are. But for sure, ask questions. If you're curious, ask people who are showing something that looks different. Like I get a lot of questions about Danza Azteca a lot, and I answer the questions to the best of my ability since I am just reconnecting with my roots too. So I for sure don't know all the answers. I can try to answer some, but it won't be complete.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
so
Oh,
what are some of the more specific things that Indigenous Roots does? Like, what are some of the things that they do specifically to help the community? What are some things that they're involved with that specifically do some outreach?
yeah. So for sure, I remember back when the pandemic started, there was a food drive or or like a place to be at the center to pick up like food and toiletries, all for free, by the way. It was one of the main sites to go get stuff for the house, for home, since a lot of people wouldn't be able to go far. And I know like around the east side, it's the being close to a grocery store isn't um, super convenient. They're all kind of far. So I know it's a good idea to have uh, food around there. That was one of the proudest ones I've seen so far. Um, what else have we done? Definitely going out and about in our communities whenever people answer calls to action or give us calls to action. We show up, um, and even if we ourselves are in trouble too, we also ask calls to action and ask our brother and sister communities to come and show up on our behalf too.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of call to action, I was wondering if you have a call to action for our audience, for our class, something that you want for us.
For sure, spread the word about the center, and be more involved with the communities around St. Paul, since I know Hamline University is in St. Paul. Many of the students are kind of in a closed bubble too, where they haven't seen far beyond Hamline University. Um, so I definitely would recommend going further out into the city and seeing what you can do to be a part of the community that you're living in right now.
So we were kind of
Okay.
wondering if you could tell us more about what your dance symbolizes, what you guys symbolize when you do specific dances. I know that you guys have different dances for different occasions, things like that. So if you could just maybe delve into that for us.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I can tell you that in Twin Cities, we're made up of three groups so far. So there's Kalpulli Yaocenoxtli, Kalpulli Huitzillin, Kalpulli Mexica Yolotl. Um, we all dance and practice Danza Azteca, and this dance is from our ancestors back in Latin America. And what we do, we most of us are reconnecting to our roots, and um, we dance. Our dances have meaning, tell stories, and spreading these stories continues on, shares our energy with our loved ones, and traditions. The kids who are watching us, the youth that's watching us, is very moved by what we do. And when we dance out in the streets, dance um, back at the center, um, it just brings not just me joy, but like to everyone else in the community and anyone who dances. Um, and it's one of the things that I look forward to every time. Whenever we're like, hey, we're gonna have dance, I'm like, bet, let's go. Um, but yeah, it's one of the many things I look forward to. And like right now, we're fasting for Mexican New Year, which will be happening this weekend. So we're fasting for 5 days. It's kind of hard because I'm at my mom's house and she can cook really good, and I can't do that. um, but yeah, like I learn a lot about my ancestors and my past.
Mhm.
So, what are like some goals that you like try to achieve for like through your community and like for the future with your dances?
Um, well, goals I would say is spread awareness that we are here. Uh, we're here. We're not going anywhere. Um, Definitely, we would like to thank our Ojibwe, Anishinaabe, and Dakota brothers and sisters, and Lakota brothers and sisters for sharing this land with us, since we are on also on stolen land. Definitely acknowledge that a lot of the stuff that we're standing on is stolen land, and just change a lot of policies. Our goal is a lot, especially my goal at least, is to change policies to benefit BIPOC people and BIPOC youth. Because I wouldn't want, if I have kids, I wouldn't want my kids to live in a world that is full of hatred, and a world that would hate them for the way they look.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering, so the events that you guys host at Indigenous Roots and, the New Year is coming up, if those events are open to perhaps the people watching and students to come and like experience.
That is a great question. I can't answer that, but if it is open, it would definitely be posted in the pages. I can't answer that unfortunately just yet because that is still TBD. The one I can answer though is for one that I know is happening. I believe it's next Saturday for the I'm an artist book release, where we'll have a lot of poets there speaking about a book. I would really hope that everyone goes, but obviously it's probably not possible. But I know that's something that's happening. I know that's something that's open. I believe it's in the their page too, the Indigenous Roots page. For sure, check it out. And if you're able to post it on the Center for Justice and Law page to help spread the word, that would be great too.
Okay, yeah. So would you recommend people following Indigenous Roots on social media platforms to kind of stay in the loop of things and to support?
Of course. Why would I say no to that? That's a yes. Yeah, that's a big yes right there. Definitely follow, because we do have a lot to say, and spreading the words is very important, especially when it comes to the word that's going around in our communities and how to help better our communities.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Eric. This was like really fun to talk to you and like learning a little bit more about the Indigenous roots and everything with that. Well, we want to say for people who are watching, be sure to tune in next week and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And thank you for tuning in.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.